Appreciate everyone being here today. Really looking forward to tomorrow's game. Great opportunity against a terrific Tennessee basketball club. It's an exciting day for the LSU program as we honor and celebrate Coach Dale Brown's 1979 SEC championship team. Really was the beginning of a great era, led into the 1980 SEC tournament championship and then the 1981 Final Four appearance for Coach Brown and the Tigers. So looking forward to that celebration tomorrow. Several of those former players and Coach Brown will be present for that. So look forward to them getting recognition for that historic season. And, really thankful to our marketing team, equipment team, and Nike. I'm sure you probably have seen the release wearing the 1979 throwback jerseys tomorrow, those uniforms. Our players are excited about that, and I look forward to a great crowd tomorrow in the PMAC.
I guess just looking at Tennessee, really stout defensive team, maybe the best you guys have faced so far. Just what's the message when you're going up against a group that's tough?
Yeah, I think Glenn, arguably the most physical team in the country, both ends of the floor. I think defensively, their pressure, force double-digit steals per game, really make it difficult on you to get clean looks. So execution is at a premium from a screening and cutting standpoint, obviously ball security. I think the same can be said on their offensive end. They're going to screen you. They're a high assist team, really move the basketball, screen, share it, create high-quality looks. So their balance at both ends of the court is why they're probably one of the top 5 teams in America.
You talked the other day about the 2-point shooting is still lacking. Is it going to be especially tough going against Pavlich and some of those guys that they have down, Julian Phillips?
Well, I think so, Sheldon. From the standpoint, they're the number 1 rated defense in the country, from an efficiency and scoring defense standpoint. So for us, 2-point scoring has been a challenge. I mean, that's the bottom line. I think we all know that. We got to shoot the ball better, but that also means you got to create more cleaner, higher percentage looks, and you do that through screening, through cutting, through improved execution. So we have to continue to work in those areas, especially when you're going up against the best.
Over the last 48 hours, how much have you emphasized finishing at the rim? Seems like y'all missed a lot of bunnies Wednesday against Auburn.
Yeah, we were 11 of 31 in the paint. Obviously, as a coach, you're excited to get 31 paint shots in a game, but we have to be a lot more efficient in converting those. So again, you come back to working on the finishing, having different solutions when you get into the paint, playing off 2 feet, floaters, using your offhand, whatever's necessary to have improved efficiency there at the basket. And especially going up against a physical team that has great rim protection, as most teams in this league do, will continue to be emphasis for us.
I guess just what is the message when you're going through a rough patch like this? Is it to stay focused on the fundamentals and really just kind of break it down, to what is capable of your team, and try to really focus on the things that you guys can do?
I think, that's a big part of the challenge of coaching. Right now when you're struggling, you're not playing well, you've lost some games, you have to start with mindset. And I know obviously we got to play better, but you're dealing with disappointment, you're dealing with frustration. That's the human nature of this. And so I think there's a lot of time spent there working on our mentality individually and as a team. And then obviously film study, going to the court. Big picture, we have to stay the course. We know the situation we're in coming in here this spring. In the short term is we got to get better. And so we have guys that have responded well. They're working hard this week. We've had good practices. I like our mentality. We just have to stay together as a team and find solutions to get better and improve.
How much are you stressing just aggression from your guards offensively in terms of getting to the rim and allowing for kick out opportunities, that kind of thing. It just seems like something that maybe you guys haven't tapped into as much as you probably would like to this year.
Well, I think it's so important, Glenn, on the offensive end, your balance of 2-point scoring, obviously 3-point shooting. But the two go hand in hand. I mean, we can go through and track our possessions, what our efficiency is when the ball touches the painted area versus possessions where it doesn't, what our efficiency is when we have multiple ball reversals versus possessions where the ball stays on one side of the floor. And so there's not a perfect answer there, but we have to continue to get better. I think some of it is, as we mentioned, we got 31 paint shots the other night. That's a lot. Some of them were not the best of quality. So now you start getting into, we're there, now our decision making once we get in the painted area. Our spacing on the perimeter, getting to the vision of the passer. Screening to try and create more time and space to make those decisions. And you can go on down the line, but really trying to simplify and find ways to be more efficient in scoring the basketball.
Cool. Anyone getting the red light as far as taking those shots, or even if it's just later in a clock? That is that conversation happening now?
As far as which shots? From the 3-point line? Again, you could argue we've been more efficient shooting threes as a whole than we have from two as far as our return on investment. Now, how do we get some cleaner looks? You can't go 4 for 20 from three as we did the other night. But when you look at some of our more efficient offensive performances, we have shot the ball well from behind the arc. I think it just comes down to execution. Now part of it, Mike, too, is you have teams in this league who have elite rim protection with shot blocking and length and athleticism. So their defenses are designed to run you off that 3-point line and funnel you in to where they do have the elite 2-point defense. And so we can't take the bait. We got to make sure we're trying to create as high a quality of looks as we can.
I find it really interesting how much you talk about different stats and kind of analytics for your team. And when you are going through struggles like this, how do you use those to your advantage to maybe make a better lineup that will succeed against a team like Tennessee or Auburn?
Yeah, I think we're in a situation where we got to try different things and try and find different ways to be more efficient at both ends of the court. We talked earlier this week, sometimes when you're really struggling to score, how can you create some easier baskets? I thought you saw that in the first 6 minutes of the second half against Auburn. We were able to force some turnovers, force some tougher shots that led to long rebounds and got us out in transition and got some easier baskets there. So we'll continue to search every way possible to give ourselves a chance to keep getting better and improve.
How have you felt you guys have sort of improved in terms of ball movement, like the passing with this team? Do you think there still needs to be some steps taken towards improved direction on that? How much do you think that can sort of help you guys moving forward?
No, for sure. I think that's important. As I was just stating with Glenn there, I think when you go through and track possessions, and probably every team's this way, but when the ball moves side to side, when you're moving the defense, you're shifting the defense, you're mixing their coverages, gives you better opportunities to score. When the ball sticks on one side of the floor, defenses are able to load up and so forth. So we have to continue to improve there. But again, some of it is the design of opponent defenses, where they're going to try and force you to make plays one-on-one off the dribble. And so that's another area we have to continue to improve, not only scoring for ourselves, but creating for others. And spacing becomes a big part of that as well.
That 6-minute stretch to start the second half the other night, how much did you glean from that what y'all did? I mean, it was probably the best little stretch y'all have had since Kentucky game.
Yeah, we're kind of back in the same boat. We talked about this some in the non-conference, Sheldon, where we would have stretches where we would play well, and then we'd have a lull. And so now it's, can we play with that level of consistency and sustain it for longer periods of time against some of the best teams in the country? And that's where we have to get better. But I thought there were a lot of good things to take away from that segment. I believe, and don't quote me, but I believe the start of the second half was 14-5 to make it a 2-point game, and we missed an easy rebound that would have had us out in transition with a chance to take the lead. So, we've studied the film with our players, shown them the difference and the pace of play, and I'm not just talking sprinting the floor, but the sharpness of our cuts, the execution of screens, the movement of the basketball, the ability to get out and get a couple baskets in transition, the energy and effort that we have to sustain on the defensive end of the floor. Those are some of the things I think we have to continue to improve upon to give ourselves a chance.
How crucial is Justice Williams, I guess, to your guys' rotation now that things are a little bit thinner at guard, and it seems like there's a lot of untapped potential there in how he plays?
I'm really excited about him. Missed a long stretch of the season. I had a pretty severe high ankle sprain in that game against New Orleans. Missed, I think it was around 4 weeks, so that set him back a little bit. But I think great size for the point guard position, length, athleticism, great basketball instincts. 6 rebounds the other night, really important for us. He's a guy who's has good vision on the offensive end, very willing and unselfish passer. I think his three-point shooting numbers are skewed. You go through a season, you're 0 for 1, you're 1 for 3, you're 0 for 1, and pretty soon you're a 20% shooter off limited opportunities. But I believe he's hit a 3 in each of our last 2 games. One him playing with great confidence, and I always remember this is supposed to be his freshman year, and so I think you'll just see him continue to get better and better.
I'm sure KJ knew what he was getting into, and he welcomes the spotlight. But how is he holding up, kind of being the real catalyst, I guess, right now for your offense?
Well, I think this is a great experience for him. He had a great 4-year career during his time at Murray State. Won multiple games in NCAA tournaments. Won all these great awards and all those things, and now here he is with an opportunity to play against the best big guys in the country. And I think it's been great for him and his continued development, not only as a player but as a leader and as a man. So I think he's handling it well. I think there's plenty of room for growth for him to keep getting better and better. But I think this is really a great opportunity for him as you look at the next 6 weeks coming up here.